And we're live. Just like that. We jumped the timeline. I think we're live. I think we're working. Oh, wow. It's good to see everyone. If you could hear me on YouTube, hit a 555 in the chat. Hopefully it's there. And if you're on TikTok, I appreciate you. And yeah, we're live. We survived the solar flash. We survived the glitches. We're on every platform right now. What a tremendous evening this is. So I'm just giving everyone, we've been on TikTok for a little bit. If you're just coming on YouTube, just hit the like button as you are strolling in. And I'm still like, what is it called? Like when you feel that you're scared. That's me right now because it hasn't been working, but we're working right now. I think it's working. So if everyone collectively could write 555 in the, I'm only doing this because when something glitches so many times, you have no clue. So we're actually blowing up on TikTok right now. So if you're on TikTok, I appreciate you. We have so many things to discuss tonight on every single platform. This is going to be the greatest story ever told. So there's a lot of people that are familiar with all that has been going on and continue to go on with the solar flash. You might be new to this. We are live again, back on YouTube. We are live on TikTok, and we are going to gather around for the greatest story ever told. Yeah. The greatest story ever told begins tonight. You know, everyone that's, and I appreciate that on TikTok. I don't understand everything, but thank you for all the hearts and the donations and the stars and, you know, all that other stuff. We've been through a lot over the past few years, and recently we went through a lot once again. So a lot of this transition happens through free will. And I've shared this the other day on YouTube. There will come a time, AE, I appreciate you. I appreciate the prayers, AE. Thank you so much for that. There was a conversation that you probably had with God that you were going to make it through or take this jump, a leap of faith. A lot of people are changing. You've gone through a lot of changes. And in tonight's world famous video, regardless of the platform, we're going to be talking about surviving the Great Solar Flash event and recent events. So we're going to talk about isolation, which a lot of people on YouTube actually live through the real life evidence of. We're going to talk about green onions. We're going to talk about missing time processing. We're going to talk about the temperature reading not being correct. We're going to talk about sleep. We're going to talk about Blockbuster or Netflix mindset. So you could even comment right now. Do you have a Blockbuster mindset or a Netflix mindset? And we're going to wrap this up into a beautiful package tonight. The solar flash is an inside job. It doesn't change. It's never changed. Cliff, I appreciate you very much, Cliff. Cheers to you, Cliff. Thank you so much for that. The greatest story ever told, because that's all we could kind of do is share with one another the experiences that we've been going through. And a lot of people might not have this experience, or you might get to a place where I'm just getting distracted with the TikTok screen. I'm not used to it, but I appreciate everyone over there as well. The things that we're going through, it's not it's not a picnic. You know, a lot of us say, oh, you know, I'm gonna sign up for this. But we went through a lot of changes, and ultimately, this will be the greatest story ever told. Several years ago, I was out on the beach. I believe it was 2022. We had a major X-class solar flare, and I stated out on the beach on that video that this is going to become the norm. And these energies, they affect our body. They're affecting the brain waves, the human consciousness, and it's going to change the trajectory of the timeline. And you really got to get back to the basics. One of the things I've been sharing with people, the basic stuff comes from God. And there's a lot of confusion, like certain things, they write it in like there's 50 pages, and you look at, it's done to confuse you. Okay, both platforms here, right? It's done to confuse you. A lot of this information could be written on maybe like an index card, but they stretch it out to 50 pages, if you will. And that's what we have to start realizing. And, I always share about Dr. Bruce Lipton, and it's not about the words, it's the energy behind the words. So you're really going to have to get back to the basics and know in this time period, there is a massive change, and energy is the ability to cause change. This was the biggest solar flare that we've had this solar cycle as we're gearing up for this solar flash. And, when we think about it, and I've shared this many times over the past few years, we've had many flashes or bursts of energy. Some of them are registered in the Schumann resonance, right? So we had one last June of 2023. And those that have been part of our channel and community for several years, a first major one came in December of 2020. And from those points, you might have noticed that your body might have went through massive changes. You might have noticed that your reality, your timeline rapidly changed from that energy focal point, from that point in time. So, now you start peeling back what we've been through, what we're going through. Isolation. During these pivotal moments, it's important to be isolated so that you could integrate the new energies. External sources in science, it's called epigenetics. Epigenetics meaning above genetics. Your surroundings, other things can dictate your vibrational frequency. On my journey, I was kind of forced to be in more isolation. Supernatural sometimes. I'm live on YouTube right now, also on TikTok. And the people that were witnessing, you can raise your hand in the chat if you witnessed it. There was nothing I could do. I kept trying to go live, and the live stream kept glitching and glitching and glitching. And I've been going live on YouTube for so many years, and I've never seen anything like it. But it was a call. It was a call for me. I kind of went further into isolation for a period of time. We were resetting. Our frequency was resetting. And during this time, you have the exchange. The exchange could come in the form of concepts that, maybe were on the channel and changing the trajectory of where we're going and how we're going about it. Also the people. This ain't my first rodeo. God is going to prune us, so we should be, ahead of the game, know this, and do the pruning as well. Malishka, thank you so much. Healing process has its timing. Let it give birth. Yes, I appreciate that comment. How about everyone comment on this video? Let's give birth to our everyday lives, because that's what we're doing tonight. We're giving birth tonight. And again, it's not a massive eruption, but it's something that's an electromagnetic signature that's going out to the quantum field that is starting a new movement that can't be stopped. If you're on the live stream, why don't you text it to a friend? Say, hey, we're live again. We're live again. We need this real life evidence. It's really important. That's why God a lot of times will put a big spotlight on something so the world can see it, because we have to have the real life evidence. We're leaving the age of the Maya, the illusionary world, and we're headed towards a new age, the age of Aquarius, the age of authenticity. So I've been in a lot of isolation, and it happens in seasons and cycles. You might be on this journey, you're making it through the solar flash, and you might be called into isolation. You can't have a 9-to-5 matrix job if you're going to survive the solar flash. Why don't you smash the heck out of the like button if I'm speaking the truth. You cannot survive the solar flash. The energy is going to drive you mad. You could raise your hand. You could hit the sunburst in the chat. You cannot survive the solar flash. Right, Cristal, it says it's the truth. We're going to pop a bottle of Cristal real soon for the celebration. I love you. No, we can't survive the solar flash reporting to a matrix job that's lowering our vibrational frequency. We can't survive the solar flash dealing with a relationship that's draining our battery. You're going to need every last bit of your energy. You're changing. You got trillions of cells. And these cells have to change. And your whole frequency has to change. And it's not some spiritual woo-woo thing. When your frequency shifts, you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be exhausted. I put a spotlight on my life. A wise man once said, have the balls to put your life on a billboard. And that's what I do. So why don't you, you could subscribe all over the place, because we're going to get more. We're going to get another camera. We're going to get another tripod. We're going to get on another platform. We're just going to keep growing. Okay? But we have to live in authenticity right now. Okay? And oh, everyone's coming in right now. Look at that. I appreciate everyone showing up. We're back live. We made it through the timeline jump, and the family is back together. And now we got new families too. But that's what it's all about. So isolation is important, because you have to focus deeply on yourself. You can't lose yourself. You don't want to get lost in the sauce out there. I appreciate the beautiful comments. We're going to keep going. And you have to realize that there are things, your body is called to do certain things. That's why I'm going to be unveiling something in the next month on this channel. And it's a lifestyle. So a lot of people out there, and a lot of them, honestly, they're rooted in the ego. This is the truth. Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, you have to have this diet, and you have to have that diet. And I could sit here tonight. Lisa Patterson, thank you so much for that, Lisa. I could sit here tonight on both platforms and tell each and every one of you, these people are full of crap. You must listen to your body and your unique needs at the time. Period. It's the end of the story. There's no this diet and that. Well, I have to follow this diet, otherwise I can't be spiritual. This, you got to get rid of this stuff. And that's why more and more people, I appreciate everyone over here, Melanie, Christelle, people are resonating with this more and more. We have to walk the path of authenticity. You can't live in your ego. Oh, if I am identifying with this diet, and that's how people, that's not your identity. Just like, people are waking up, so maybe they left one matrix, they went into another matrix. Your diet is not your identity. You could write it in the comments. Your diet is not your identity. We're going to talk about green onions tonight. Has anyone out there? Hi. We got the special voice now. Has anyone out there had a craving for green onions, specifically green onions? And I'm sharing about my intuition. Ashley Lynn, thank you so much for that. I'm very grateful for that, Ashley Lynn. I was called in this past week to eat green onions. My mother used to make this dish. It was a rice dish, and she'd chop up all these green onions in the rice. And I was thinking about that. It was coming to my mind. I've shared this. There's always new people to the channel, and there's always people that need maybe a reminder. I shared about there was a time period where I was called to eat mushrooms. This lasted for several weeks. I was eating mushrooms. Oh, I gotta love them. I love these mushrooms. Then I got to a point I said, oh, I don't want to eat the mushrooms anymore. I don't want the mushrooms anymore. Didn't want them. So recently I was called to eat green onions. Your body knows better than your mind, better than the ego. So during this time period, that's what I was called to do. It was incorporate green onions into my food. And maybe, right, so we just had this very powerful solar flare. Maybe there was a certain food that you had a craving for. You said, I've got to eat this food. I got to eat this food right now. The solar flare is coming in. I got to eat this food. Well, then that's what you're called to do. Not to fit into the vegan cult, not to fit into the keto cult, whatever it is, you got to do you. We got to start listening to ourselves. Hit the like button if this channel resonates with you. We got to start listening to ourselves, people. That's what we need to do, and leaders lead. You know, and I've been sharing with these solar, so the one thing, that was something that is beautiful comments. Thank you so much. One of the things that I've been sharing, I felt called to eat potatoes. I was eating potato. Oh, I needed the potatoes. Potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. Now the potatoes are grounding, comes out of the ground. When you have the solar flares, you might be called to ground, get out in nature, barefoot. I go to the beach, go to the park. So when it comes to food-wise, you say if there is a carb in your diet, you might be called to specifically potatoes, potatoes, and more potatoes. And that's going to help you ground these energies. So that was something that I was called to do, right? So one of the things, if we're going to move forward, if we're becoming the best version of ourselves, and we can't, like, if you force the issue, ready? If you force the issue, you're going to struggle. I've been called to fast. I've been sharing about that. Sometimes we have to fast. So these are the things we have to think about. Missing time. Missing time. Had missing time. Did you have missing time? Anyone? Any platform? Anyone? Did you have missing time? The other day, I was listening to a song. And the song wasn't on a radio. The song wasn't on a CD or a record where it could skip. But there was about like a part of the song, it might have been less than a second, and because I was kind of not singing it out loud, but I was kind of singing the song in my head, and I noticed something was wrong. Like I felt like, wait, where did that part of the song go? And I know to some people that might sound strange, and some people might say, hey, I had something like that happen to me as well. So there might be a little time lapse that you know, and there's something going on. Remember, if there's not much going on, we don't have like something to gauge it against. But something blipped for like less than a second, about a second or less. And these are the strange occurrences that are happening at this time. The deep sleep over the past few days. I was called in the middle of the day. And I've shared this before. Sometimes I could do a 20-minute, like the deep sleep for 20 minutes. It's so refreshing. It's more powerful than like sleeping all night long sometimes. I was just talking to a friend in the gym. I shared the 528 hertz frequency. I have a 1 hour 528 hertz frequency on the channel page. You could use it to meditate or fall asleep. And, you know, she was talking about her anxiety. I was saying, you know what, years ago, I used to, you know, struggle falling asleep. A lot of people had anxiety and, you know, falling asleep and healing during the time period of sleep. It's so important. And if we're not sleeping properly, we're not healing properly. Now, go beyond that. Go beyond healing. You know, sometimes we have an injury or we're sick and we need to heal. But think about, right? Now we're upgrading. So our whole body is kind of evolving. So we're going to need the deepest sleep of all. And so my experience, I would fall asleep the last couple of days, middle of the day. I would pass out, go to sleep like 20 minutes, only like 20 minutes, so deep. I would wake up. I would feel refreshed, wasn't scared, but almost feeling like my heart was racing. So that was like, it's like a strange experience to go into such a deep sleep. So you're in such a deep sleep. And then all of a sudden, thank you, Shelly. I appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate that. All of a sudden, so I'm sleeping, I wake up and I was kind of refreshed and I feel like like my heart is almost like palpitating when I get up from this little nap. So there's an energy that, and if you feel something, you could hit the starburst in the chat if you felt something like that as well. So you take a deep sleep, you wake up, and you, where am I? Where am I? And so something, a bit massive change is occurring within you at that time. Temperature readout is not correct. Temperature readout is not correct. This is something I shared on the channel before. It's on the channel page. I keep receipts on this channel. Please head over to YouTube. We have 1.7 thousand videos to help you become the best version of yourself. And I shared that I felt that at a lower temperature, I'll get to the what's happening now, but I felt at a lower temperature, so you could be outside and it could be like 75 degrees, and 75 is the new 90. Like it could be 75 degrees. You're like, oh my God, it's so hot. You're like, it's 90. No, it's only 75, the temperature says. If you feel like that, you could hit the flames. You could put the Holy Spirit fire in the chat. If you felt something like that, yes, 75 is, or you could write 75 is the new 90. Maybe you agree with that. Maybe that's something that you are experiencing, right? Willow Rain, 75 is the new 90. The air conditioner, right? So the room is getting so like hot, but it should be hotter outside for it to reach this. And so the air conditioner turns on. And again, I know to some people, this might sound strange, but some people, they might say, I'm witnessing this as well. Again, if you are living a conscious and aware existence, once again, if you are living a conscious and aware existence, meaning that you're not running on sleep mode, that you just go about your day, that you're focused, you're paying attention. It's the currency of the universe. You're paying attention to things. You know maybe how your air conditioner clicks on. Peggy writes, it's real. Is it real? And now all of a sudden your air, it's registering, like it's not that hot outside. It's not 95 outside, but it's a lower temperature, but it's cranking. It's cranking like it's a higher temperature. Again, you have to know. You have to be conscious. And I talk about this. The solar flash is an inside job. It's you got to go inside for it. And in order to shine your light, in order to truthfully ascend to a higher version of yourself, you got to start taking ownership of your life. This ain't my first rodeo. I've studied, I've watched, I observed people in spirituality for many years. And a lot of people think a unicorn and rainbow is going to come save them. Not happening. A lot of people don't want to take ownership. They want to hide behind excuses. And I'm here to tell you, you want true ascension, you got to start making changes and actually implementing them in your everyday life. And that's what I do. I'm only here today because of God and because I had the inexhaustible belief in myself. Some people also out there think that God is going to do it for them. Oh, don't worry, God's going to... Wrong. God wants you to get up and get going. What's the point of life? What's the point of life? We got to start taking ownership of our life. We got to start living our best life. Because this ain't stopping. And some people, they could say, oh, it's fear this, oh, it's fear that. But a lot of you are feeling this. If you're not implementing changes, you feel like you literally can't survive. I appreciate the hearts and all that stuff on TikTok. I'm new there. I'm very grateful for everyone. Shelly, thank you. Appreciate you. I'm like everywhere right now. It's tremendous. You see how it works? We're on a new timeline. You could write it in the comments. We're on the new timeline. We're on the new timeline, baby. Yeah, we're on the new timeline. No, the solar flash is an inside job. If you are on this video tonight, regardless of your platform, you're watching your Uncle Mike. It's good to see you. We are preemptive. We are the next wave of evolution. And I'm here to give you an example. Are you Blockbuster or are you Netflix? True people that are carrying out true ascension have a different mindset. There are people with the old mindset. And what I do on this channel, I give you everyday life examples to help you ascend. Isn't that tremendous? There's the Blockbuster mindset and there's the Netflix mindset. Before I get into it, where's Blockbuster? Some of you, you might be younger. You don't even know what Blockbuster video is. You don't even know Blockbuster because it ain't around anymore. But everyone knows Netflix. Everybody knows Netflix. Please hit the like button so people hear this example. I really appreciate that. Means a lot. Blockbuster, right? You had to physically go in, get the DVD, right? Bring it home, bring it back. A lot of work. Netflix was coming around, but it wasn't starting off so good. Blockbuster, listen close. Blockbuster had an offer to buy Netflix for about, again, something like this, $50 million. And they said, $50 million to buy Netflix? Nah, I don't want that. People want to come in and pick up their DVDs and bring it back, right? That's what they want. Fast forward, Blockbuster ain't around anymore. Netflix is the biggest thing. Netflix is worth about $300 billion or something like that, and Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore. Tonight, you have to ask the question, do you have a Blockbuster mindset or a Netflix mindset? And utilize that on your journey. I teach you good, right? No, it's true. That's how we have to think. We have to think of the future. We have to think efficiently. If I was still eating the same way, doing the same thing, living the same way, again, we don't have to change everything. I've shared this on the journey. This is a journey of balance, a journey of alignment. Sometimes we have to eliminate things. True ascension is elimination and incorporation. You got to do both. And some things on your journey that worked in the past, then it's going to work again. And some things don't work anymore. You have to sort through things. I mean, God is sorting through things. The solar flash is flashing through things. You have to start doing the same thing as well. Remember the VHS? Yeah. That's the best, right? Some of them are worth money if they're still in the box with the cellophane. Remember like the Nintendo game? Some of them, if it's still in the box with the wrapping. I wish I could went back at Super Mario Brothers with the wrapping. I would have like $500,000, I think it sold for. She has to have the wrapping on it, though. It's wild. It's wild. So it's a great time. You got to have an attitude of gratitude. It really gets you through the day. Gets you through the solar flash, kid. I'm grateful just to be live right now. You have no idea. I love being with all of you. But again, we have our seasons. We have a little pullback sometimes. We go through these things. We go through our trials and tribulations. These things help us, level us up. I got almost 6,000 hearts on TikTok. Is that good? Could someone let me know? I have no idea. I got 6,000 on TikTok. Yeah, 6,000. I guess that's good. I have no clue. See, there's certain things in your life you just have to do innately, right? and you just called to do it, and you just move forward with it. So these are some things that I have experienced since we had this major solar flare. And again, a lot of the things, I have a world famous video tomorrow, 9 a.m. on YouTube. Check it out. If you're on TikTok, you come over. If you're on YouTube, you hit that subscribe. I appreciate you. Very powerful video tomorrow. Sometimes the weirdest things happen. The glitches happen. You're on the ascension journey. The weirdest glitch happens. Who's going to believe me? Well, sometimes then it happens in public and everyone sees it, and that's why it happens, because people have to learn there's something strange going on. Sunny Lamont, thank you so much. Hello from Alaska, having severe lower back pain and dreaming weird dreams about things from the past. Maybe heal this energy. Yes. Sunny, I can't express to you, I don't know if you've been here the last couple days as well, the lower back pain, it's rough. Now, I want you to think about this, right? A lot of us went through survival mode. Think about your life since 2020. I went through so many changes. If you're new to the channel, head over to the channel page. I share about my journey. This is literally the greatest story ever told. We had to go through survival. Now, it was necessary. But now we have to step back and start and actually finish, because we've been doing this for quite a while now, the healing. Our body, our armor, the armor takes on damage. We take on some damage sometimes. So the root chakra, the base of the spine, the lower back, that's your support. There was a time period I had no support. I had me and God. It's true. And I defeated everything. Me and God. And nobody else. And there's a reason. There's a reason for that. Because the world needs to see the truth. There was me and there was God. And I'm still standing. And that's all I had. Yeah. You got to reach that moment. You got to reach that moment. You got to dig deep. Hit the like button if that resonates with you. You're going to have to dig real deep, baby. You're going to have to dig real deep. And the deep healing is coming as well. I motivate. I make jokes. It's a great channel. You should check it out. I got 9,000 on TikTok right now. It's great. I don't know what it means, but it's good. It's great. Oh, man. Not yet. We have to do it. It's so important. It validates. People have to be shown. You could be told things. Remember, the truth cannot be told. It can only be realized. You have to realize these things. And a lot of times, listen, I heard things over the course of my life. You might have heard things over until you actually had first-hand experience. Then you're like, okay, now I see it. Now I got it. Now you got it. So powerful. You have to see. I did the Stairway to Heaven podcast on YouTube. People were complaining about that. I was doing the stair mill in the gym. There's so many worthless trolls on the internet. Do you know? Hit the like button if I'm speaking the truth. No, I did the Stairway to Heaven podcast. Some of you remember that one. And I was climbing the stairs to show authenticity. Right? You're breathing heavy. I do all these interesting things on the channel, right? And so I'm doing the Stairway to Heaven podcast, and I said, I need to see. Every leader needs to see. And sometimes you need to be dead and buried and resurrect again so that you can see the truth. The sun, the solar flash, you're the seed. They didn't realize that you were a seed. And the seed of Christ is in you, and now it's growing into this beautiful, unstoppable movement that is known as our everyday lives. That's good, right? It's true. Sharon, I love you, Sharon. Thank you so much. Sharon Leslie, thank you for being here since the beginning. I love you, Sharon. I love you. Loyalty is royalty. Why don't you write that in the comments as well? Loyalty is royalty, and that's the problem with our society right now. So many egos, a lot of narcissism. Royalty is loyalty. It's true. But you got to see these things. Then you actually appreciate it better. You appreciate everything. I'm so happy to be connected with everyone again. But it was totally, you have no idea. Like, I have the energy to do this tonight. This is divine timing that I could do this tonight. It's divine timing. When you go through these shifts, when this energy comes in, you might be out on the floor, exhausted. There goes the chat. I don't see the chat. We'll be over here now. Maybe we're still there. It's amazing. There's so many glitches that are going on. It is what it is. So the solar flash is an inside job. Each and every one of us have the ability to overcome and be the best version of ourselves. I love each and every one of you. I'm grateful for everyone that tuned in on YouTube and on TikTok. And for this one tonight, I'm going to end it on YouTube first and head over to TikTok. I'll do a little after party over there. Do a little after party. But I appreciate that. I don't know what that heart means, but I got like an arrow through the heart. We have to stay focused. Shelly, I appreciate you. We have to stay focused on creating this new timeline. We're becoming the best version of ourselves. If you saw me tonight on YouTube, this is the world to me, this mission. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I'm so grateful to be live. We're live together again. The greatest support for this channel and this work is sharing, and share one more time for good luck. Because there's people out here that need to hear this, that will get support from these words. This change is happening. And I'm going to remind you, tonight, I gave you the real life example. Are you going to be Blockbuster or are you going to be Netflix? So keep that in mind on your journey. Which one do you want to do? You could comment that down below as well. And please share this video. And you can write down, I survived the great solar flash. I love each and every one of you. We have daily videos, 9 a.m. Eastern time, to help you become the greatest version of yourself. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Keep going.